Today, we got Barrell Dovetail sitting at 61.9% for review. What's going on? We're back at it again. We're getting another hot review for you. Drams on deck. Today, people, today we have a heavy hitter. Today, we got the Barrell Dovetail in the building. Yes, sir. This bad boy is barrel proof. As you can see, it is bought at 123 proof, and it is 61% alcohol. Now, if I seem a little excited, it's a reason. This one right here, it has a lot of layers. When I say it's complex, it is complex. So anyone who's looking for something that's out of the norm, out of traditional whiskey, you're looking for something that's way more complex, this is a way to go. If you don't know about this particular one, Barrell Craft Spirits, they have a cult following. Reason why is because no two whiskeys are the same. Every year, multiple times a year, they have different releases of different batch numbers. Every single batch number is different in its own right. So they have so many different barrel ones. For example, I have another one right here. This one is batch 16. I have that one. That review is coming soon, but there are also multiple different batches they have, multitude every year. And every single batch is distinct. It has totally different flavors. So that's why the cult following is growing and is so distinct, mainly because at every single release you have to go get it because it's nothing like the traditional one. So that's the reason why the cult following is this. This one right here in particular, this is a finished whiskey. They have inside here a 10-year Indiana whiskey that's finished in Cabernet Sauvignon, and they also have a 11-year Tennessee whiskey that's finished in blackstrap rum and port finish. So to me, you have the port, then you also have the rum, and you also have the wine influence in two different whiskeys. So when you have all those complexities, you have a lot of layers going on. And that's the one thing that when I found out about this, I have to get this. This particular one, it cost me around $90. So with taxes, you might as well say it's pushed up to $100. And every single thing about the Barrell is all their batches, no matter what batch number they have multiple ones, the 14, the 15, the 16, the 20, 22, so on and so forth. Every single batch of releases, they're all barrel proof. This one right here is, like I said, is pretty much 62%, 123 proof, so it's strong, you know what I'm saying? But I think this particular one right here is a little bit more distinct because it doesn't have a batch number. It's called Dovetail, and mainly because of those particular things. But it's because it has the wine finish, and they couldn't, from what I read, they couldn't call it necessarily a bourbon, so they had to call it Dovetail. But that being said, the complexity on this thing is a beast. From I've actually tried it, as you can see. I'm gonna get into this. So anybody who's looking for something that's new and complex, this is it. What I mean by complex, meaning that if you're sitting at home and you want to sip and enjoy and dissect flavors, this is the type of whiskey you have to take your time with. You can't just be up and go, like take shots, or if you're watching a game and you're not really focused on it. I wouldn't necessarily suggest you use this particular one for that price. When you sip this, my suggestion is to just sit back and enjoy it, because the layers are going to change. You could sip it one thing and taste one particular set of flavors from like the rum or the port, and you can sip it again maybe 10 minutes later after it opens up, or even add water, and it could taste even more different or complex. So this is something that you have to take your time with, not even just in one setting, but even different months, because I've only had this bottle for about 2-3 weeks. So I would imagine 2-3 months from now, let it open up, I might taste even more, slightly a different complexity than I taste today. So this is something that you definitely will take your time with, if I do say so myself. Barrell, like I said, they have multiple batches. So I have the Dovetail, and I have batch 16. I will be getting more, rest assured. But like I said, most of the barrels, from what I've seen, they go anywhere from 70 to 110. That's the ballpark of theirs. They also have a higher expression that costs a little bit more, but for the most part, most of their batches are in the 70 to 110 ballpark from what I've seen here in Southern California. They're becoming more and more accessible. But like I said, in particular, Dovetail, you need to take your time with it. This is something that you have to focus and just really sit down, dissect, enjoy, and bust out the flavors. That being said, I'm going to jump right here on this nose. Now keep in mind, this has a rum influence, wine influence, and port influence when it's different whiskeys. So right now I'm picking up, rum has a very distinct, like a sugar cane-ish type of wood smell and taste to it. That's the best way I can describe it. It's very distinct to me. And I pick up a little bit of rum. I pick up some molasses. I pick up a little vanilla on the nose. That's what I pick up mostly. Vanilla, rum, sugary influence, a little spice. Sweating a little bit, but if you see, that's a lighter color. It's not a dark amber, more of a lighter finish, slightly light, not too light. I would say medium amber complexity. Like I said, you have 10, 11 year with the finish in here, so you have a lot of different influences going on here. But on the nose, I pick up like of a sweet, like a dark fruit that may come from the wine with the molasses, and I pick up the rum and a little bit of vanilla. It's not super, well, it has somewhat pungent to certain drams. When you smell it, I will say the peaty ones, I can set this cup 2-3 feet away and I can still pick up the pungency of the oak and the peat on certain ones. This one is not as strong as that, but when you put your nose in, you definitely can pick up the flavors on this one, I will say. Sorry, let's go in. First sip on the palate. Here we go. All right. Sorry for the faces, y'all. First one, 62%. Normally that first sip, when you feel that the ABV, the alcohol punch, I feel a little bit of a punch. It was a good one, but I felt it. Now I got that out the way. Let me take another sip because the alcohol was prevalent on the first sip. Second sip, it's already, my palate's already sensitized to the heat. Second sip is gonna go smoother. I can get a little, I can pick apart more of the flavors. Here we go. Wow. You definitely want to take your time and go slow on this because, like I said, it has a lot of layers in it. I mean, right now, pick up like a sugar cane, candy sweet flavor, probably from the rum, the sweet rum, and the wine influence. Picking up the molasses on the palate. And on the finish, it's slightly rolling on the back end. I feel it, I slid it rolling into a more vanilla and a caramel flavor on the finish. It's a very complex dram. Like I said, I could probably let this sit for 20 minutes, add some water, and it's gonna be even more different. So right now, I pick up the rum, molasses on the front end. On the back end, on the way when it goes down and it lingers, you get more of the vanilla, the sugary. You get that on the finish. The caramel flavor on the last end, very nice. Like I said, it's 62%, so you're gonna feel a little bit of a punch on the first, initially. But I like it. It's a good punch. I mean, it doesn't have a burn per se, but it has a little heat to it. I'm gonna give you that. It's a little heat. So heat is not necessarily for me the same as burn. Like if you're drinking something bottom shelf, like something that's not even distilled, it may have like a very strong bite. That does not come with a bite. It definitely has a high. It's gonna taste hot initially, but once you get past that and you take smaller sips, let it mellow out. I mean, it's behind the heat. There is so many complexity of flavors. Like I said, from the molasses to the sugar, caramel, vanilla, wonderful. For this, I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm going to add a little water because I want to see If the water unlocks anything more, any more flavors, so add a couple drops of water in here. Let's just see how that opens up. Like I said, Dovetail, it is a keeper. If you're a traditionalist that doesn't like, just very traditional, straightforward guy, you're not into barrel finished whiskeys, then this may not quite be in your wheelhouse. However, I will suggest at least trying a dram of it. So if you can get a shot of it or at a friend's house or at a restaurant or a whiskey bar, something that flavors. Whiskey bars, in certain cities they have whiskey bars, and I live in San Diego area, so north of San Diego. So in this particular area, we have a whiskey house. It is one of the largest selections of whiskey in the country. They have damn near everything there. So if you can get it at a whiskey house, like I said, or a friend's house, or a high-end restaurant, I would suggest trying a pour of it. You may even check online. You can maybe find it online. I think Whiskey Exchange, I don't know if they have it or not, but you can check there or other places online. But that's for people who are traditionalists, who are very strict and precise. I like my round, some people who like their bourbons very spicy in a certain way, and they're not open to different finishes. So more of those are more on the straight, true, taste profile. If you're someone like me, I consistently challenge myself to try different things, even things that I know that's probably not my number one go-to taste, but I will still challenge myself to try something different just to see if I can grow an appreciation for it. Even if it's not my A go-to, it could be a B backup plan. Like, like I said, I'm not a rye guy, but for every once in a while, I can go for something that's slightly more dry and a little more spicy. I prefer sweet, but there's some days I don't want sweet. I want a little something different. So I always challenge myself to try and to expose my palate to different things, so that way I don't just stay stuck on one thing. And there's people who've been drinking the same drink for 25 years, and in their mind, Chevy's Rigo, for example, might be the best dram they ever had, because they haven't trained their palate to try different things. And so for me, I always do, like I said, I always look to try different things. So for me, even if I want to try different things, this is a very distinct, different finish product, and it has a lot of layers to it. That being said, I've been rambling for a couple minutes. Let me go back on this water and let's see how we got. I will say on the nose, after I added water, it could be from the thyme as well as the water, but I'm picking up more sugarcane, more sweetness on the nose now. On the nose, I get more rum and more sweetness, sugar, spice, more nutmeg. You definitely get a barrage of different flavors on this. Let's go on to the palate. I can assure you, with water, it's definitely opened up some. Initially, I picked up the rum, the molasses, the vanilla, and the caramel, but now I still get the first two, but it lingers more with the first part. The rum, the molasses, a little bit of the sugar cane, like a sugar cane taste. It lingers a lot more now with this water. So basically, it becomes more sweet, but with the rum influence. I could taste the rum with the water more so now than the wine factor. So it is a very complex dram. But like I said, I could try this 3-4 months from now, add some water. It may even be even more complex than it is now. But I will tell you, if you are a guy looking for something new, you're not going to find many drams that taste exactly like this. You're not, I can assure you. I'm not saying you won't find none, but many, no, maybe one or two. There's not going to be too many things that taste like this with that wine, rum, and port mixed with the whiskey. It's just, man, I could just take my time and just dissect this. Like, this is one of the things when you're sitting back, like right now, at the time I'm shooting this video, this is during the quarantine time. So if you look at this video a year from now, might be a lot more going on, people getting out the house and doing different things. But if a time like now, if you have this where you just sitting at home, you can't go out, you can't really do much, It's a perfect time to sit back, you know, get your Netflix chill on and just dissect something like this. This is a perfect time for that, you know. And you can really just go to town and just take your time. It's like, oh, I taste sugar, I taste spice, I taste nut bread, I taste, you know, even a little bit, like the last sip, I taste a little bit more of, you know, during the Christmas time, the gingerbread cookie taste, I get a little bit more of a cookie influence, the sweetness with the rum. I can pick up all that in with the water. Like I said, you can just have your time, and like I said, it's a high proof. So you can play with the ABV, put a little bit of water in it and bring it down to whatever taste or preference that you prefer. And you can just, you know, like something's 40%, I wouldn't say put a lot of water in. But since it's so high, you can definitely put a little bit of water if you choose and play with the flavors. It's just, and just take your time. This is the perfect time to do that now. That being said, Barrell Dovetail, it is an excellent, complex dram. I definitely recommend it. It's less than $100. I mean, you know, that's what I paid for it. But I mean, slightly less than $100, like $95 or a little more with tax. But before $100, I mean, you know, you can't beat the, you know, I don't think you can beat that. Like I said, they have limited releases, so it's not something that, you know, is always available. But if you see it in the $100 range, that's pretty much the ballpark, you know. Like I said, they have so many different batch numbers with Barrell. Like I said, you know, the 14, the 15, the 16, the 9, the 22, the 23 at the store I got. That's which is out here in Southern California. I got it at the Total Wine & Spirits. They have multiple. They have about 6, 7 different Barrell bourbon whiskey batch numbers. And like I said, every single batch is different. So I have the batch 16, the 14, the 15 is going to be different from each other. So this one right here, getting back to Dovetail, like I said, it has a 10-year Indiana finished in wine. Then it has a 11-year Tennessee finished in port and rum. And when you mix all together, it's just complexity bomb, sugar cane. You have caramel, vanilla, rum, molasses, sugar, shortbread cookie. It's just gingerbread cookie. It is a very sweet, complex dram. And like I said, depending on like how long you open it up, the water, you can definitely play with this because of the complexity of it. I mean, I'm a guy who likes complexity at times. There's certain things I want straightforward, and sometimes I like complex drams. And if you like complexity, you know, which is outside the traditional stuff, this is, trust me, I don't think you're going to be disappointed with this. I definitely don't. So for me, judging this 1 out of 10 being the best, I'm going to have to give this a shot at 9.5 all day long. That's damn near perfect. Because the fact that, honestly, with something that this complex, I would not be surprised if the price was at least $150. But it's not. It's, you know, it's $100 or a little bit less, depending on, more or less, depending on where you go. We'll just say $100. So with the complexity, the age, I mean, I wouldn't. There's drams that I spend $150 on or $160 on that's not near complex as this. And the fact that it's a high proof. Some people don't like high proofs. I will, as I said before, years ago, I was not into the high proof because it used to burn my tongue. I wasn't quite ready. But what I learned as the years went on and me trying different ones, higher and lower proof, the higher the proof, if it's a little, you know, tingy on you, what I say is take smaller sips and let it sit in your tongue. And as you take smaller sips, even if it burns a little bit or if you're not used to it, you're going to be able to take a little bit more because the sip is not as big, you know. Take smaller sips, add water, let it open up, and the more you do that, the easier it gets. And so, long story short, 9.5 out of 10, near perfect. This is an excellent dram. If you like that, like I said, you like the complexity, do it. If you're, like I said, you're a simple guy that just doesn't like all the complexity, a lot going on or something, then you know this may or may not be. If you're a traditional guy, this may or may not be in your warehouse. But for me, I will, even if it is not if it's not in your warehouse, please try it if you can. Before you buy a bottle, get an opportunity to try it. I live in the San Diego area, so if you're a subscriber, you watch my shows, please, if you're in the area, hit me up. I'm very accessible. I'm not hard to find. Hit me up, and hey, we might even try dramming together. So I would definitely recommend this to you. Please do it. Like I said, solid for me. Got to get this one. More reviews on the way. Drams on deck. Thank you. If you're new to my channel, please hit the like button, subscribe if you like it. I'll definitely have more reviews coming your way. Thank you for your time. Stay safe out there. Love you all. Drams on deck. Yes, sir.